All right, we're answering your tax questions with J.W. Degance from Jackson Hewitt. This person's asking, why is there a delay with refunds?
Well, yes. So the reason there might be delay in refunds a lot this year is mismatched information. So if the information does not match the IRS for the child tax credit, for your stimulus, those are the two big reasons that we're seeing delays in IRS funding. So it's more important than ever to file a real accurate return.
All right, so if you didn't have stimulus or the child tax credit, you may get your refund within that 21-day window. But if you have a couple of those things, along with earned income credit or that kind of stuff, it may take a little longer to check all those numbers. Got it. Okay. This person's asking, if you're married filing jointly and one is disabled, do you have to file your monthly benefits?
So Social Security disability is really never taxable. So that wouldn't come into play in that situation.
Okay. This next question is, can the IRS keep my refund if I file late?
Only after 3 years. If you actually did not file your return and the filing deadline was 3 years ago, you need to act quickly to get that in before April so that you can get your refund. After 3 years, the IRS can keep your refund.
Okay, after 3 years. But if you're late, it's not like they're going to charge you a penalty and then you're not going to get your refund.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Correct.
This next question is, how many letters should one have received for stimulus payments received in 2021?
Well, there was a third stimulus payment, just one stimulus. So there should be one letter that you received actually regarding your stimulus payment.
Right. You probably got one letter. And again, the way, if you didn't get that letter or you don't know where it is, the best way to do it is to make that account.
Correct. And also, I will add, though, that if you're married filing jointly, most likely each person received a letter regarding the stimulus. So there could be two if you're married filing jointly.
Aha. Okay. And definitely want to have that. All right. So the next question is, what should you do if you notice a mistake on your return?
So that would require an amendment, a 1040X, to be completed. And it is always best for the taxpayer to submit an amended return before the IRS catches it. It could take the IRS 2 years to catch an error on a return. And during that time, you could be compounding penalty and interest that whole time. So it's best if you catch that error to submit an amendment.
Oh, no. So you're saying if you make a mistake and the IRS doesn't find it for 2 years, they can charge you interest on whatever money you might have owed them in those 2 years?
Correct.
Oh my, okay. All right, this next question is, if you work in one state but you live in another, where do you file taxes?
Good question. So you would actually be filing taxes for both states because you have a home state where you lived in and then a state that you worked in. And a lot of times those states will work together, so they'll offset. So you may not owe or may not get a refund in both. You may owe one and get a refund in the other. Okay,
but you still have to do taxes for both states.
Correct, because you earned income in one, but you're actually a resident of another.
Oh, wow. Okay. How about this? Let's take a look at those red flags. Everybody's always worried about getting audited by the IRS. Nobody wants to do that, right? So there are two common red flag things that we wanted to talk about. There's a whole list, of course, but let's take a look at these two.
So unusually high deductions compared to other returns with similar income. If there's high charitable contributions or large expenses on rental properties, the IRS does compare similar incomes to each other. So they're looking for if there's a lot of high deductions on one return versus another. And then also really the mismatched information regarding the third stimulus and the child tax credit can definitely be a red flag to the IRS and slow down your refund.
Okay. And we had a lot of balls in the air this year with the third stimulus and the child tax credit.
Absolutely. This was definitely a very complicated year with all these that just passed last year. I recall in March hearing all the changes that were retro to that previous year and then these changes that were coming for this year. So it's definitely a complicated year, and it's one that, you might want to seek some professional help potentially.
Gotcha. All right. Thank you for your time, your expertise. We so appreciate you just answering all the questions on the fly. If you missed any of this, it's going to be in the Who Wants to Know section.